What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Nicey Chung and Benny, and I'm here with my co-host Greg King.
What's good, everybody?
And you're listening to the Ball Fake Podcast. Welcome back, everyone. It's now episode 10. Before we get into today's video, make sure you like and subscribe, turn on post notifications, and follow us on our social media platforms. On Instagram, it's Ball Fake Podcast, and on Facebook, it's also Ball Fake Podcast. Pretty simple. Make sure y'all keep following us and liking our pages and everything. But as you can see from the title, we're going to talk about NBA trade rumors and free agency today. I'm going to swing it over to Greg, and we're going to get right into it. All right.
So today I'm going to talk about, as far as trade rumors, I'm going to focus on the Clippers because the Clippers got a unique situation coming up. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are free agents in 2021. So they need to decide what are they going to do from here.
Hop right into it. Who you getting rid of?
Paul George, easily. I'm getting rid of Paul George. I'm getting rid of Paul George, dude. I'm getting rid of Paul George. He didn't, first season, he didn't come out and he didn't play well in the playoffs, and that showed. And he couldn't play off.
Well. He didn't play at all this whole year.
Exactly, man. Like, he just didn't play well, dog. So it's just like I would trade him. And so the possible trade rumors I've been seeing right now is Paul George to the Pelicans for either that first round pick.
To the Pelicans?
To the Pelicans, dog. To the Pelicans, dude. Because Steph Van Gundy,
bro, he's gonna be suicidal, bro, if he goes to New Orleans.
So I mean,
I'm playing.
So they might trade him for the first round pick, Lonzo Ball, or Brandon Ingram, or Drew Holiday.
Do the Clippers really want to do that though? Because I mean, what are you gonna do with Alonzo Ball and who else is
Brandon
included?
Ingram and Drew Holiday.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie, that's not a bad trade.
Not all three of them. It's one of each. So if there was Drew Holiday and the first round pick for Paul George, I think that's terrible. And then there's another one. It was Lonzo Ball, JJ Redick, and Darius Miller and the first round pick. And then the last one was Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram for the first round pick. So I think the last one is the better one, in my opinion.
For LA, if I'm I don't know who, I can't remember off the top of my head who the Pelicans GM is, but
David Griffin.
Yeah, I'm not trading away Ingram and Ball for Paul George, who is likely not going to stay because he's not going to have a long-term contract.
Exactly.
So they got to be smart about that.
Exactly, but I think this is a good rumor because the Clippers are not getting the value that they thought they were going to get out of both of those players. So my thing is, you got 1 year left with these guys, and you're going to let them walk in 2021. Is that realistic to you, Nicely, or do you try to get value out of that?
I think, honestly, out of those two, if anybody was going to walk, it would be Kawhi. I really feel like Paul George would want to stay and, you know what I'm saying, try to contribute, add on to what they built on the season, you know. But mainly, I didn't really think that their issues were on the basketball court. It was a lot of stuff that happened off the court, you know, arguments. There was a lot of tension in the locker room. Guys upset about Kawhi and PG being able to load manage while they have to bust their ass in practice and, you know what I'm saying, play all 82 games. So don't get me wrong, I definitely feel them on that one. But if I'm Paul George, I don't even know where he'd want to go. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, and they're losing some key free agents. Montrezl Harrell is going to leave this offseason because with the salary cap, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but he's definitely going to want some, you know, more money than.
And if I'm LA, I would try to keep Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell. I wouldn't throw them in any trade offers unless it's just something I just cannot turn down.
Mm-hmm. But what's your team that you've been kind of looking at for trade?
I've been paying attention to Minnesota with that number 1 pick. They've been having discussions about fetching that to the 76ers for Ben Simmons. I think that would be a decent trade. You know, Ben Simmons, he's already played with D'Angelo Russell in high school. They played at Montverde. They won a national championship, I believe. I think they might have done it twice, actually, back-to-back years. And Ben Simmons also has a pretty good relationship with Karl Anthony Towns, too. And, like, that's a big three right there. You know, you have somebody who can pass the ball, get it to both of those scorers. Karl Anthony Towns, he's a great presence inside and outside. And D'Angelo Russell, that's somebody who can fill it up, give you a 30-piece any given night. So I think that would be beneficial for Minnesota.
So do you think Minnesota's in win now mode, or do you think they're better off getting a draft?
Well, with you having Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell, you definitely aren't in tanking mode. So you have to make some type of moves to progress along the way, because I think they lost Jimmy Butler a few seasons ago, and they traded Zach LaVine a few seasons ago for, I think, Chris Dunn and somebody. No, Chris Dunn was on the team. I forget. I can't remember off the top of my head who they traded him for, but I was really pissed off because I knew Zach LaVine was like damn near the key point. He was an X factor on that team, so I was upset about that. And then, the Sixers, they would benefit from getting the number 1 pick. I think they would likely get LaMelo Ball. Anthony Edwards, you can't go wrong with him either, but pairing a guard with Embiid and possibly getting like a Buddy Hield from Sacramento, which I might talk about later on, but that's a big 3 right there for you. That's a team that they can look to move forward in the Eastern Conference. So
yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, I think they should trade their pick. I think the Warriors should also trade their pick. So let's talk about the Warriors. The Warriors are in an interesting spot too, because they have Steph and Clay, best backcourt in the league. And they have Draymond. Do you trade Draymond for an asset, or do you keep him? I mean, for me, he's the heart and emotion for that team. So
but you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get the greatest players from a Draymond. I'm not talking down on Draymond at all, but like, okay, let's say they trade Draymond for who? What are some teams that are in trade talks with the Warriors that are discussed? I know the Wizards are talking about trading their number 2 pick for Bradley Beal.
The Rockets were looking at Draymond Green too. The Rockets were interested in Draymond Green for their small ball lineup, but he can't hit the 3 like that. So I don't understand why they would want him.
Well, it wouldn't be offensively for him to look for a shot. It'd be because he's a phenomenal facilitator, and he's a floor general to an extent, similar to a LeBron James. Obviously not at that level, but he's somebody who can get their guys into sets, make sure his teammates are in the right positions and everything, and you know what I'm saying, he can control the offense pretty well. So, but it's just all about what would you get for him. Me personally, if I'm the Warriors, I've been hearing a lot about Bradley Beal, them trading the number 2 pick to the Wizards for Bradley Beal. People have to think, if you're playing in the Western Conference and you already have a decent backcourt, you have to get somebody in the front court that's going to be able to guard AD. We have to remember, the Lakers are the defending champions. Exactly. So why would I go out and get Bradley Beal? That's going to hurt us defensively. He's already an undersized guard. And you already have Steph Curry, who isn't the best defender. I'm not going to talk shit about him. But Klay Thompson, 3-and-D guy, but it just wouldn't work out. They would get pummeled in the paint against LA. That's what these teams have to think about. That's what I'm saying. That trade scenario, it just doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. I saw another.
Yes, you're gonna put up 130, but you might give up 150. So yeah, I just don't understand.
I saw another one for Embiid too, and I was like, you got to give up a lot for Embiid too. Like, I think it was like Draymond, the first round pick, and some future picks too. I was like, that's a lot.
What do you think the best position for Beal to be in? Like, what the best team trade offer?
Best team. My dark horse, if they wanted to do this, I think the Lakers, bro. Just because with LeBron's passing ability, bro, and I think he can offset what LeBron and AD do on the offensive end.
Yeah, because the Lakers, they really do need some scoring outside of Anthony Davis. You're gonna get your 25 from LeBron. He's gonna control the paint, but they can't really rely on those role players for too much, because other teams, they're gonna adjust, and this is gonna be a really big offseason, bro. Now we're gonna have the Nets as contenders in the Eastern Conference. Teams like Philly, they may get better depending on what they bring in. So Bradley Beal to the Lakers, I would love it, honestly.
I would love it too, but it's not really realistic right now. So where do you think Bradley Beal should end up?
It's tough.
Because I saw the Mavericks, but then I saw another report that the Mavericks are trying to save their money for Giannis for 2021.
Yeah, and that's what I don't think if I'm Dallas, I wouldn't do that whatsoever, because
for Giannis or Brent.
I would keep that money for Giannis. Try to, what I'm saying, get in his ear this offseason, even during the season, because I know how I stated in previous episodes how I don't think that Giannis has the guts to leave Milwaukee, but god damn it, bro, they're so deep in the luxury tax right now. Like, it's gonna be tough for them to bring in anybody. Like, the best player that they could have probably brought in for a cheap price was Jamal Crawford, and the Nets picked him up. So I don't know what they're looking to do, honestly. So if I'm Giannis, I would definitely be keeping my eye on Dallas, Golden State, just teams like that.
And the Heat.
He can't go to the Heat.
Can't go to the Heat?
Bro, he cannot go to the Heat.
Okay,
because for one,
why do you think
bro, It just wouldn't work, man. Like it would not work.
Not
like
with their shooters that they have.
They wouldn't even. I don't think they'd be able to keep those shooters, bro. I don't know what their salary cap and everything is off the top of my head, but like it's a lot of money that you're gonna have to pay Giannis.
Well, Duncan Robinson's on a cheap deal. Kendrick Nunn's on a cheap deal. Tyler Hero's on a cheap deal. You're losing Dragic this season.
Yeah, those are rookie contracts though. Like Tyler Hero, he's only getting paid, I believe, like $3 million a year or something like that. He's on a 2-year contract.
I think everybody on as far as role players are.
And they definitely are gonna pay those guys like after next season.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it just wouldn't work out, bro. It wouldn't work out. Honestly, I'm sorry. I would love to see that, but instead of them going after Giannis, I think it'd be a smarter deal to try to chase after DeMar DeRozan. Because he's gonna be he's on a player option this year. So Miami, they have about $82 million in salary on the books for next season, and could open up even more cap space if Kelly Olynyk turns down a $12.2 million player option. But that's not likely. But you never know. But as a team looking to keep cap space open in 2021, why not throw a big 1-year deal at DeRozan? The 4-time All-Star has $27.7 million player option with the San Antonio Spurs, but it would be smart for him to turn it down if the Heat can match that offer. So I think.
How do you think he will work in their offense though?
What they could do is they could play the small ball lineup, have Jimmy Butler start at the 1, Tyler Hero at the 2, DeRozan, Duncan Robinson, and then Bam Adebayo. Defensively, it might be a little bit scary because, Robinson isn't the best defender and neither is Tyler Hero. But if they play as a team on some Houston Rockets type of shit, then they'll be more likely to, not give up as many defensive rebounds and everything. But I don't know. I think DeRozan would be an interesting piece. It would definitely solidify them as contenders, most definitely. I already think that they're contenders heading into the next season, but Miami, they do need another offensive scoring threat, somebody who you can just give the ball to at the end of the shot clock
and just go get us a bucket. Yeah, I agree with that.
Right.
But actually, the next rumor I want to bring up is Chris Paul and D Rose to the Lakers, and I kind of think the D Rose one is interesting just because D Rose this comeback is kind of interesting just because he can still play, man. He's still hooping. Like, he can get you 15 off the bench. Like,
yeah, he averaged 18.6.
Exactly. Like, so it's consistent. So when he was at Minnesota, when he was at Detroit. So I think the Lakers brought in a veteran guard like him. It's not to Rondo's level, but you got the scoring that's better than Rondo.
They just need another ball handler, somebody who can control the offense and put the ball in the basket for them. Like D Rose, he shot 49% last year with a PER of 21. But in order for LA to get him, they're gonna have to throw Kuzma in this trade. Like, Kuzma will be the centerpiece of this trade.
Which I don't want, bro. And you know I like Kuzma, bro.
But 13 points per game, shooting 32%, I can find that on walking across the street, bro.
Okay,
so
but what do you give up on the defensive end? Because Kuzma's defense is very underrated, bro.
Kuzma's not a good defender whatsoever, honestly.
You don't think so?
No, bro. Like, it's like clear as day, bro. Like,
not in the post. But on the wing, bro, to a certain extent, bro, he can switch off.
He overextends a lot and doesn't contain the perimeter player. Like Kuzma, he's the type of player that he can play well. Like defensively as a team, if we have we're playing like a boxing one type shit, he can do that. But as far as like 1-on-1, no, he's not. He's an average defender. He's not terrible, but he's an average defender.
So you think D Rose would do better than him on the defensive end?
I mean, it's not really like we're placing D Rose at the 3 spot, but yeah, D Rose brings more value just in general.
Okay.
So yeah, get rid of Kuzma, bro. He's not gonna on top of that, Kuzma's not gonna play this entire season with the Lakers.
You don't think so?
No, heavens no, bro. 13 points per game, shooting 32%, bro. I can walk across the street and find that, bro.
Yeah, that's true. And then as far as Chris Paul, do you like that one?
I mean, I like it, but it's just unrealistic. LA would have to give up damn near half their team to fill up that contract.
Yeah, that contract is fucking ridiculous.
So I mean, that's out the window. The last trade I want to talk about, though, I want to go back to Philly. I would love to see Buddy Hield suit up in the 76ers uniform. Just because he can easily be inserted into that offense. He brings shooting, which is something that they've lacked for these past couple seasons. They're ranked 13th offensively, which isn't too bad. But your best player being who's their best player? Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid for sure.
Somebody who is injury prone, and then your next best guy, Ben Simmons, someone
who can't shoot at all.
He can't shoot. He does not like to shoot. And honestly, I hate when people say that Ben Simmons needs a jump shot. Don't get me wrong, it would definitely help his game, but you have to think Ben Simmons is a point guard. He's never shot the ball a day in his life. Y'all didn't complain about that because he finished up his third season. He got drafted in 2016, but in that first season he was hurt, so he didn't play that entire season. But Ben Simmons, bro, that is a guy that he needs to get the ball to a score. Like Embiid, he has Embiid on the block, but the reason why the Sixers were so bad this year was because they lost a lot of shooting. JJ Redick left in free agency. Jimmy Butler, he's not necessarily the best shooter in the world, but he's another offensive threat for them. So he walked in free agency. He joined the Miami Heat, obviously, and they went to the NBA Finals. And then you're left with Tobias Harris, who is a capable scorer, definitely. But Embiid, not being able to rely on him all the time because he's so injury prone, it definitely took a hit to Philadelphia's offense. So inserting Buddy Hield into that offense, this is a guy who shoots 40% from three. On catch and shoot threes, it's 41.3%. So this is somebody who can definitely stretch the floor out and open up those lanes for Ben Simmons to attack and possibly throw a lob to Embiid and
or kick it
whomever.
Out to him. Yeah.
And Doc Rivers is at utilizing shooters who can shoot the ball off the run. But the only negative for the Sixers as far as like their money and stuff is they're really tight on cash. So the only way that they would be able to bring Hield in is if they give up like an Al Horford, and I know Sacramento's not going to want to do that whatsoever. So that's a topic within itself. But we're going to switch over to free agency. Who are some players that you think will move this season?
I think Montrezl Harrell will move. I said that earlier this episode because he's going to want more money, and then with the locker room issues, he's definitely out of there.
You think Steve Ballmer would let him walk though? I'm not sure because you got to think Montrezl Harrell, he's a key piece of their offense.
Yeah, no, he was the energy guy.
He's an X factor.
Exactly. He's kind of like a Draymond Green for the Warriors. So I just don't see. I already see him talking to other teams and stuff like that. So, as far as the rumors, they're saying that. So I see him walking, especially because he played well to deserve the money that he thinks he deserves. So I think I see him walking. I think other than that, I can talk about teams like as far as the Raptors. They need to re-sign Fred VanVleet. They need Jaren Grant. If I was Denver Nuggets, I would not let him walk. But
definitely would.
But it depends how much these people are asking. It's the salary cap. Like the salary cap, if it goes up, man, these people they're gonna be asking for large contracts. These role player guys. So it really just depends, bro. But what about you?
I think one interesting one that I found recently was Paul Millsap to the Celtics. I think it would be a good fit for the Celtics because they've been needing a big somebody who can defend pretty well, which they've been able to find role players who can step up to the plate and guard these top big men in the league. But Paul Millsap, this is a guy that he has 11 years of playoff experience. With Gordon Hayward returning to the Celtics on a $34.2 million deal, Boston, they could already be making $140 million in roster payments even before free agency starts. So that means hunting for bargains, especially veterans in the front court who can space the floor and defend, it would benefit them. So Millsap at 35 years old, he's still good enough to start power forward if they decide to use Hayward as a sixth man.
They might trade Hayward. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hayward might be going back to Indiana.
And if I'm Boston, I would definitely look into because like Gordon Hayward has not looked right in the Celtics uniform since he's got there. So
and you thought he was because he's teaming up with his old.
Honestly, I didn't think he would because you have Jason Tatum, an offensive threat, somebody who's gonna take at least 20 to 22 shots a game. Jaylen Brown, he's also gonna need his field goals, and Marcus Smart and players like that. It just didn't seem like they were too top heavy when it comes to their guard play. Yeah, and I never saw that working. It kind of frustrates me too because it's like, as their GM, like why aren't you able to bring in like bigs?
Yeah, I don't know. And you know what? They're thinking about drafting more guards in the draft too. So I just don't understand where their vision is. But people who haven't followed Gordon Hayward, when he was at Utah, he had the ball in his hands most of the time. So he was really creating his own shot. And, his usage rate was high in Utah. So to transfer over to the Celtics where you have to be more of a jump shooter,
right?
It's different. So, yeah, your point is right when it comes to that. But
I also saw Carmelo to the Lakers.
That's a LeBron move.
No, it's not even that, bro. Because
But
LeBron, if LeBron wanted him, he could have got him. Honestly, yeah. Because Carmelo, he didn't get paid that much this year. He's on like the veterans minimum, damn near.
But he played good, nicely.
Yeah, he's proven. So like he's gonna have a hella teams knocking on his door, but Melo coming off the bench and being the vocal point for their second unit could make LA nearly unstoppable. And he'd most likely be the sixth man, like I said. But LA, they could run lineups with Bron and AD, and that would just be a nightmare for defenders on the opposing end.
When you got three guys who can create their own shot,
really scary
LeBron
sight.
Driving, and he can either throw the lob to AD or kick out to the corner to Carmelo, and especially because Carmelo is efficient from that corner spot this year. So when he was with Portland, I think that's a great fit too. Is there any other trade rumors that you're seeing? I'm seeing Devin Booker rumor about him getting traded. They're not trading him. I don't see that.
No, I don't think that would be a good thing for them to do because you wouldn't be able to get back any assets that would be equal to Devin Booker's value whatsoever. But thank you guys once again. We're going to wrap it up for you guys. We appreciate y'all tuning in once again. This is now episode 10. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. It helps with the YouTube algorithm and everything. Also follow our social media pages, Facebook, our Instagram, are both Ball Fake Podcast. But outside of that, it's your boy Nicey Chunga Benny. I'm here with my co-host Greg King, and we out.
Thank you.